I remained without cancer for 3.5 years, and life is wonderful. And my daughter was 7 last year when tragically we found out that cancer had returned. I coughed a little bit of blood, I had some scans, we found out that cancer had come back into my lungs, my liver, and more frighteningly I had 10 tumours in my brain. One was the size of a golf ball. Hi, I'm Kate. I am from Australia and I'm 45. In 2018, I was tragically diagnosed terminally with lung cancer. We had a tumour the size of an apple in my lung, and I had metastases in both my hips, my pelvis, throughout my spine, multiple ribs, both my shoulders, my liver, and my lymph nodes. The doctors in Australia said I was too far gone to have chemotherapy, and I was too far gone to have an operation. I had 10 rounds of palliative radiation in my hips. That was just to take the pain away. I was put onto a targeted therapy medication. The doctors had said that without treatment I had 6 months to live. On this medication, the doctors were excited that I may get an extra 6 to 12 months to live. I was a solo parent of a little girl. She's called Annabelle and she was 2. So to know that I most likely wouldn't get to see her turn 4 was just heartbreaking. So I knew I had to do something radical. I didn't know what that was until a friend of mine said, "You know, Kate, there's a clinic in Mexico and it's called Hope4Cancer." He was a naturopath. I sort of listened to his words, and then the next day I went to see an integrative oncologist, and she said, "You know, Kate, there's a clinic in Mexico and it's called Hope4Cancer." So with that, my mind was made up. I had to get on a plane and leave my little daughter in Australia with her grandparents, and I brought a friend and I came to Hope4Cancer. That was in October of 2018. I had 3 weeks treatment here, so combined with the targeted therapy medication and the treatment here at the centre, within 3 weeks, 6 of the 7 lymph nodes that had cancer had disappeared. The tumour in my lung had decreased from the size of an apple to the size of a grape. The lesion in my liver was reducing in size. Lots of my bone metastases had solidified. So we knew that whatever I was doing was working. This was verified when I went back to Australia and I had my next round of PET scans. So after 3 months from diagnosis, the doctors at the hospital labelled my results as remarkable. 75% of the cancer was now gone. So I knew that whatever I was doing, I needed to keep doing it. I returned to Hope4Cancer for a follow-up. Now normally you come for a couple of days, but because I'm on the other side of the world, I decided to come and do another full round of treatment. I continued on this path for all of 2019, and at the back end of 2019, I was NED, so no evidence of disease. So all my dreams had come true. Fast forwarding a little bit, I remained without cancer for 3.5 years, and life is wonderful. And my daughter was 7 last year when tragically we found out that cancer had returned. I coughed a little bit of blood, I had some scans, we found out that cancer had come back into my lungs, my liver, and more frighteningly I had 10 tumours in my brain. One was the size of a golf ball. I went back to the oncologist and I went back onto the targeted therapy medication. They said, "Look, we hope it's going to help with the brain metastases." And within a week and a half, I was back at Hope4Cancer. This time I came for 7 weeks. We knew we had work to do. I was very, very frightened, particularly knowing that it was in my brain. But we ramped up the protocol. I stuck to the plan. I exercised every morning. I did treatment every day. I was laser focused. Back to Australia after the 7 weeks. 4 weeks after that, I had a scan and I'm back to NED. So it took 12 weeks to go from being terminally ill to not having cancer. So I've had 3 follow-up scans since then, all clear. I'm back in Mexico for a follow-up. So life is back to being fabulous and wonderful. My daughter will be turning 9 at the end of the year. So to think that I started this journey when she was 2, we've come a long way. I'm often asked to give any advice to other people on this journey. What I found was you need to have hope, and you need to understand that there potentially is a way through this. It's not necessarily a death sentence, and you need to surround yourself with positive people, people who can lift you up, people who can guide you, people who can be there for you on dark days and on happy days and celebrate when you have your wins. So I personally try not to listen to the words incurable and terminal. Instead, I took hope, I held it by both horns and I ran with it.